and welcome to Inside Edition, where we discuss national, regional, and international issues in depth. Established with the aim of promoting lifelong access for advanced education and effective training for all individuals with behavioral and communication difficulties, the Bahrain Society for Children with Behavioral and Communication Difficulties, and since its establishment, has been embracing an overall philosophy which chooses to empower not only individuals with behavioral and communication problems, but also their parents and caregivers, in addition to providing them with all required skills to overcome various challenges. To know more about that, we are pleased to be joined here in the studio by board member of Bahrain Society for Children with Behavioral and Communication Difficulties, Mr. Fathi Abdulrahman Mattar. Welcome back. Joining me here in the studio is board member of Bahrain Society for Children with Behavioral and Communication Difficulties, Mr. Fathi Abdulrahman Mattar. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I think it's a great pleasure and opportunities for us to talk about such thing in your esteemed program.
Thank you very much, sir. One thing when it comes to children and the behavior and communication difficulties is that people need to understand that these difficulties, when they are there, schools such as Alia schools and other schools are there to help them deal with them in order to become productive adults and young adults. So first of all, can you give us an idea about the main aspects of behavior and communication difficulties, as well as the importance of basically understanding how to deal with them? I know there are many different ones, but what are the basics on that?
Basically, we are in Alia for Early Intervention Center. We start with children who at the early age, and we always recommend families and parents, whenever they discover there is some kind of abnormality in their child, is to bring them from age 3 years old. Okay. That helps the society and the center to deal with their children. Basically, sometimes the children have communication problems. Yeah. You cannot deal with them. You cannot communicate with them properly. They don't have language enough to express their feelings. So this is when you sense that in your child. I think this is the time where you start looking for solutions and looking for help from. And Alia for Early Intervention Center is one of the centers in Bahrain that provides such help.
Right. Well, when we talk about the kind of things to look out for, I did notice that there is some awareness, but not full awareness about child difficulties, especially in communication. Not per se autism or, for instance, learning difficulties or dyslexia or ADD or any of these kind of things, but people don't really know what to look for, and sometimes it is pushed to the side as a normal activity because the child is acting out. How do you spread awareness to parents that really don't know how to see the signs?
Awareness is one of our goals and part of our mission in Alia School, and it is very important for us to educate the public about how to deal with it and how to understand and know when your child is having a problem. Lots of parents would love their child to be perfect, as they say, but whenever something wrong with it, they try not to accept it. They try not to understand it. They say, no, he's gonna grow over it. He's gonna be better. It doesn't matter, or it doesn't harm if you take your child for inspection.
Doesn't make him less of
anything. Just like he has a fever, you take him to a doctor.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very important to take your child and get opinion about this child and his progress and his ability to communicate. That's why awareness is one of our key aspect in Alia School and our society.
Perfect. Well, can you tell us more about the establishment of the Bahrain Society for Children with Behavior and Communication Difficulties, in addition to its main mission and its visions?
Mainly, the Bahrain, our name is full. Bahrain Society for Children with Difficulties and Learning Difficulties, and I always prefer to call it Alia for Early Intervention, because Alia is what everybody can understand, and it is more easy to pronounce and easy to remember. We were established in 2004 as a NGO society for non-profit organization, and we target mainly. We felt there is a need in Bahrain for families to be aware of such problems. And we really appreciate the help we get from the government through the Ministry of Labor and Social Development. They support our programs. And it is very important for such NGOs to can survive and bring the expertise needed to support such activities. So our main goal is to educate the public about and make them more aware, and we do that through different kind of activities, as well as we have teaching program that is designed for parents as well. To deal with their children at home. We don't like the parents to just bring their children to the center and there is nothing to be. I mean, this education is ongoing.
They have to be involved.
They have to be involved in the education. It doesn't have to be only when they are in the centers. They have to, even when they are at home, they should continue the program. So we encourage families to be part of the program for their children.
Yes. Well, one of the things when it comes to learning disabilities and in general any kind of behavioral issues with children is there is a huge stigma in the community. Not ours per se, but generally when you want to see, oh, the child is acting out, there's always the stigma that, okay, they have to be on medication or they should see a doctor, they will never be normal, they will never be successful, that kind of stuff. How do you fix these kind of stigma in the community itself?
I think acknowledgement and acceptance. Okay. It is very important that you acknowledge that your child have a problem and you accept that you have a problem, just as any other problem that could happen with children. And there's nothing wrong. These are gifts from God, and you should appreciate them as much as you can. So that's why we think early detection is very important to support your children. We in Alia, we start from 3 years old to 18 years old, and we have programs designed in different ratio. For example, people with ASD, they are not all of them are the same. Yeah. They are different. Each child is different than the other. True. There is a spectrum of the ASD. Some of them at the beginning of the spectrum, some of them at the end, some of them in the middle. So we designed program as one-on-one basis. And this is very important because it is important for us to understand each child have a different needs and special needs and a different way to deal with him. Absolutely. So this is basically what we do. So early detection is very important in our society, in our center, as well as building a strong foundation for childhood through adolescence. And that is why we encourage the community to be aware of this ASD as autism and to accept it in the society. For example, if a child goes to a cold store or goes to a shop or goes to the mall and he have a tantrum or he have something, we try as much as we can to educate the public about such tantrum. That is nothing wrong with it, just that he's feeling it right now and then it will go away, and to deal with it. And so this is mainly what we do in the society, and we have celebrated Autism International Day, and we put some flyers on the main road, and we thank the media companies that have provided this complimentary for us to put it there and to make people more aware about autism and its stages.
Definitely. Well, Alia for Early Intervention is a center that was established by the Society, as you've mentioned, in 2004, specifically November 2004. Can you tell us about the importance of its establishment as well as its provided services, whether to the students or the children or the parents? One thing that I know for a fact is a lot of institutions such as yours do also training for certain jobs in order, as you said, to be able to deal with teachers, crews on airplanes, to deal with children with autism. So what are the services that are provided by Alia?
What we do is we have a cognitive program that we designed it to be able to educate the public about this, and we had something. We like to thank Gulf Air for giving us the chance to lecture their students and their staff and how to deal with autistic children, because traveling is a problem.
Yes.
Which it's a joy for a lot of people, but for people who have autism, it's an issue.
Yes, it is.
And the parents plan their traveling with their children way before time, and they try as much as they can to make it a pleasant experience.
Right.
So we went into the Bahrain International Airport and with Gulf Air and the other carriers in the country, and we lectured them on how to deal with people with autism if they come and if they have some tantrums or if they have any kind of issues. And we really appreciate their cooperation and their effort to try to educate their staff and to spread the word all over the stuff. So this is one of the things that we do, and I think it's educating the public.
Yes.
Also, what we have been doing is a program aiming at taking the child after they graduate from Alia school. They graduate at the age of 18, and we try as much as we can to give them skills. And during this whole period of teaching in the center, we teach them how to communicate, and we try to find out where to maximize the potential, their skills they have, and we try to bring it out more to the public. And we really appreciate the help and the support of Al-Usra Supermarket. We had a one-year program. Wonderful. That was designed with 17 students, and they were working, and they were paid for their working, which is something very nice for the families.
Yes,
and
they
for
feel accomplished.
They feel accomplished, and some of them actually they got hired after the program ended in the same area. So amazing. We encourage lots of businesses to adapt such a program. It is very important because the children with ASD they grow up to be adults, and they want to support themselves, and not for in a financial way, just in a psychological way. They need to feel that they are just normal, just like everybody else. Right. And the participation of the private sector is important in achieving this goal. Absolutely.
Actually, a lot of ASD people or children turn out to be high achieving individuals with extreme intelligence in certain areas, and even to the point of scientific research in some cases.
Actually, we had some very good feedback from the private sector and from some of the companies that hired, because people with autism, they tend to concentrate on the job.
Yes.
They don't. They are not
veered outside with different things.
And they don't want to have time off or anything like that. They are concentrated on the job, and they try to do it as much as they can.
Target oriented.
Very much, and so actually their employees, they became some of them became in a managerial level as well.
Wow,
which amazing. It was, I think, a success story that we had in Alia, and that wouldn't have happened without the participation of the private sector in Bahrain.
Definitely. Well, next on, the society actually encourages applied research to determine most effective basically intervention approaches for all children with behavior and communication difficulties. As you've mentioned, you have different areas of work, like for instance the aviation arena, supermarkets and the community and that kind of stuff. What can you tell us about the importance and outcomes of this kind of support?
I think the research that we deal with, and we take it from the societies and from the institution outside of Bahrain, is important, because it gives you an idea on how to deal with this situation. And mainly their research is based on evidence-based. Okay. It's not just based on theory or on anything like that. It's based on evidence and on actual practicing the technique that we are using. And Tamkeen have supported us a lot in bringing an institution from the United States. They supervised our workplace program, and with their help we were able to educate all our coaches, local coaches, on how to deal with this situation. So research is very important. There are so much research that gives maybe medication or anything like that as a cure. Yeah. But we say we need something that is based on evidence, based on actual events, actual cases that actually did help. Yes. We cannot rule out the medication side, of course, because it is medical and everything like that, and it's progressing every year and every time. So we are open for that, but we realize that the method we are applying in Alia, the applied behavior analysis, is very important to analyze the situation, to analyze the case for the for the person, and then apply the skills or the training that we can do for them to progress into their life into better improvement.
That's great. Are there like different scenarios where you had to update your techniques over time, whether it is society related or if it's like work related?
Actually, we do. Every 4 months, we have a visit from an outside consultant from the United States, and he updates the staff on the latest approaches and latest practices that is done. And our staff is, we've been certified in Alia as ABA consultant center, and we were also certified as a teaching center for parents and for others who wants to be able to help people with autism. I think these certifications are important for us because it keeps our staff and our coaches up to date.
Right.
And it is very important, just like any other business, any other medical sector, they tend to go to conferences to update themselves on what is the new technology. The same thing is in autism or anybody who's dealing with people with special needs. You need to understand what's going on. You cannot depend on your best knowledge and not update yourself with what's going on in the world. There are so many experiences, so many experiments that are happening outside of your environment that you need to explore, and you need to understand how it's working. And it does improve the person's ability to adapt into the society, to be included in the society.
Right, absolutely. Before we continue on this subject specifically, one of the things that might have changed the way of thinking when it comes to dealing with people with disability or children with learning difficulties is the pandemic and this whole switch one day over the other from being a one-on-one, because children with difficulties do need one-on-one attention from their trainers, to basically being online. How was that switch? Was it difficult? Were you already prepared? Was it actually easier?
I think as you can take the best out of any situation and try to turn it into your best. I think what happened is the parents' participation. Yeah. Parents used to stay at home and keep their children in the school. Now parents are doing the schooling at home through the online teaching, which I think it was very important, and it was a change for the parents also to be able to participate in the children's education. We found out that it is. I cannot say it was a blessing as much as we benefited from that, from something that we always wanted to do, and participate the family into the education of their children. And the children, we found out that they are accepting all the measures and all the masks and all the gloves and all the hygienic precautions. They accepted it very easily. They didn't argue about it like the public did at the beginning, and they were easier accepting the situation. So I think we made good use of the situation. Yeah,
and I think it also is proving a theory that most of people in your position have, that having the parents involved is important, and this was actually the proof. When they were involved, it became easier to control.
Absolutely. Yes, I think it was it was good for the families to be part of their children education, and I think that is a starting point. That now they are taking it into that now they are learning more about our programs. They want to know more about what we are doing, and they are doing it at home. And we found that the children are accepting this very much, and they are happy about it, and because now their parents are participating in their education. So it's not telling them yes or no, or don't do this, don't do that. Now they are involved with them, and I think we grabbed that opportunity and turned it into something positive.
Absolutely. I can imagine also now the parents and the teachers are on the same level when it comes to the patient's or the child's education, because they are involved, so they know where the teachers are at and where the parents can use the same techniques with the child.
Exactly. And and some of them, they came to the center to be trained, and which is they realized that they need to be trained. They thought that being a parent is enough.
Yeah, no,
it's not enough anymore. You need to learn how to deal with the situation, because it is different. Absolutely. It is different and needs special skills, special techniques, special ways of doing it. And you need to have that what the children or what the people are being taught at school or in the center to continue at home. And I think lots of parents starting taking their children out of the box, from the box or the environment of their house, and taking them out and enjoying life as a normal child. And I think this is very, very important message. And don't keep your child away.
Yes.
Let him go out with you. I mean, just treat him as a normal kid with special needs.
Right.
I mean, just like, I mean, you have a kid who doesn't like to eat whatever, and you try to deal with him. This kid is the same. I mean, just go with him out. I mean, enjoy, do sports activities, walking around, going to the mall. Don't be discouraged or feeling not good about taking him out with you.
If he has a tantrum or if something happens, it's okay.
It's nothing to do with you. This is your child. It's not you. This is your child. So if he have a tantrum, he have a tantrum.
Absolutely.
I mean, sometimes you go in the mall and you feel upset about something. So I think it's not. deal with it in a very normal way, and this will encourage the children or your family to be part of the society more.
Absolutely.
Let them get involved in the society, and also the society will accept them. Because he's seeing them more and more outside. And I think this is where Alia School for Early Intervention or Alia Center for Early Intervention is trying to do, educate the public.
Definitely.
That autism is not something, it's not a taboo, it's not something unreachable or uncommunicable. You can communicate with people with ASD very easily. Just you need to know how to do it.
Right.
And to be accepting the person's different approach to life.
But definitely hats off for providing a society or a school that provides this service even to people that want to learn how to deal with this, because it is an ongoing, growing field where you need to have constant education, because there are new medications in the world, there are new educational paths on the world. So thank you for that. Staying on the point of society, in performing its duties, the society actually deals and cooperates with a lot of local and international institutions. You mentioned some international individuals, but also institutions. What can you tell us about these collaborations, and how does it contribute positively to aspiring or to achieving these aspired goals that you have?
There is the TEACH method.
Okay.
And there is the Miller method, and both of them are developed in the United States, and we very much encourage. We have some experts coming on annual basis to educate the staff at the school and also the public. We have conferences that we are doing almost every year. That we stopped recently doing it, but we did it online, which was we were able to share more experiences and more collaboration, because now it is online. You don't have to pay for the ticket and for the accommodation. Of course. so we benefit from that, and we had a larger group of experts sharing their experience with our staff, and also the parents who are willing to participate. So I think having conferences, and we also have donation events, which in a way invite people to donate for the society, and be more aware of what's going on inside the center itself.
Yeah. And having these kind of basically collaborations also gives a kind of authenticity to the work that you're doing, because you're working with international communities that are specialized in this, not just in the US or just in Bahrain, but globally. That kind of confidence in the services you provide, do you think it's important for the parents of your students to know?
We have about 500 names in the waiting list.
Okay, mashallah.
and يعني that shows that there is some kind of a trust.
And that you need to grow the school.
So I think yes, it is important for us to have this global cooperation with others and with other experts, and I think that's what because people who brought their children, they sensed the different or the progress that the child had after they attended our school.
Yeah.
I'm sure that other schools or other centers are doing their best. Everybody's doing their best in Bahrain, because it is a moral obligation into the society.
Yeah.
But we in Alia for Early Intervention Center, we have progress, and we have proved that our method of teaching to the children have benefited a lot.
Definitely.
And we have so many success stories.
Yes.
We have a child who entered as a special education, and he graduated 2 years ago from the high school, the national school, which is a norm, because what we have done, we have an inclusion program.
Yeah.
And we take the children from the special center into the school.
Okay,
and
integrate them.
To integrate them, and we also, the Ministry of Education does support such program.
Yes.
And I think they talk about it a lot, and we really appreciate it. See, in Bahrain, this cooperation between the private sector and the public sector is important.
Yeah.
Because you cannot do it by yourself. You have to incorporate it. You have to include it in the system. So we having this student graduated, and now he's in university. We have another one who have I think he's in his third year in Bahrain University.
Beautiful.
And he's one of the A students in honors in university. So we have a couple of success stories, and we are trying to promote these stories, to give hope.
Yes.
Because this is exactly what it is. Families, they have to understand that having a child doesn't mean the end.
Yeah.
Having a child with special need doesn't mean this is the end. Bil'aks, we want to give them hope.
Yes.
That they can teach their children, and they can integrate in the society. They can be productive members of the society through teaching, through this method, and through this participation, through this communication skills, and through this programs that we are doing. It is very important, because to live for this hope.
You're right.
And this is the message we want to address to people who are watching us.
Yes.
And please be hopeful that for your child to be a productive member of the society, and the government support all these things, support all this program, support all this ways of doing it. If you go to any government entity, you will see that there is, for example, special access for people with needs.
Yeah.
And there is the Ministry of Interior. They have a special line to deal with the people who have hearing problems.
Yes.
So the government is trying its best to include all these services for these people, and now it is the part of the families to have that. If you have a child with special needs, it is not the end of the world.
Absolutely.
There is still ways to get them be more better and inclusive in the society.
Absolutely. Actually, staying on this point, when we talk about local institution collaborations with local institutions, the government is one of the main people in these institutions that collaborate with Alia. Not just, as you've mentioned, Gulf Air, which is private, but as well as the Ministry of Education, as you've mentioned, the Ministry of Health. I know for sure, because a lot of us nurses took training in how to deal with children on the autism spectrum, and we were trained not by other nurses or doctors. We were trained by by specialists who specialize in basically children with autism or learning difficulties. Yes. These local collaborations, that should make parents actually feel safe that their children have a future in this country. Exactly. Can you tell us about that?
I think it's evident that most ministries and government entities that deal with the public have promoted teaching their staff and how to deal with people with special needs. And I think a lot of them as an initiative from them side, or as a request from the NGOs that they have tried to teach their staff and how to deal with these situations. Even though we complimented the public sector for what they are doing, we're always asking for more. And I think that's a chance for us also to ask the public sector is to integrate these measures into their staff teaching methods and distributing brochures, and let them participate in communities that could help their staff to understand the needs of the special people. And I think it is vital, because there is the schools are doing the inclusive program, and that program is very important. The Ministry of Education is very keen on making it a success. And that success depends on 3 or 4 factors: the family, the government, the school, the teachers, and the public as a whole. So accepting people with special needs into the society is an integral part of making them productive.
If you even look at it, actually the child with a disability might have the smallest role in this, because everybody else have these big roles. The child is a child, and he's working what he can with, and you're giving that support to it. That's great. So moving on, modern means of social media actually did facilitate direct communication with the target audience that you may have, especially during the health circumstances currently. How does your society, does Alia, make use of that?
Well, we in Alia School, we are blessed with our director, Sheikh Rania bint Ali Al-Khalifa, who have dedicated her life for the center. And she is very keen on utilizing social media to spread the word. And I think I cannot keep up with the daily videos that they post on the social media and everything like that. And the website is very professionally done. And it is very informative and good. And I think the social media made our communication with the families easier, because now we don't have to call them. We just post it on our Instagram and tell them there is this program happening, and this is how your child is doing, and this is how to deal with this situation. This is how to teach him how to read. This is how to teach him how to write. Because what we do on the social media is what we are doing in school. We are filming it and showing it on our social media platform, different platforms, so people can access it, and parents can access it, and everybody can access it, and they can learn and to deal with it. So it was a big success for us. Actually, we used it for our donation efforts as well.
The event,
we have this Alia comprehensive center that we are building in Bahrain, and big part of it was made by donations.
Beautiful.
And the donation was done by members of the society who are have influence and who believed in our cause without any. Some of them actually came to us by their own initiative, and they said, "What can we do to help you?"
Absolutely.
And I think that was great, and so we are utilizing social media to as much as we can.
That's amazing. I mean, when you really look at the efforts that are put into place in order to make a safe society for everyone, people with disabilities, people with learning disabilities, and people that are living their everyday life, we really have a comprehensive community to show this off. And also these kind of videos and these kind of interactions remove the stigma that we talked about from the beginning, because people see there are other kinds of human beings in your community, and this shows them, and they're normal, and they study, and they go to school, and they go then to college, and that's pretty normal.
Actually, children, families should look at their children with special needs as a vital part of in their family. They can help them in the house, which my daughter does. without hesitation, without being bored, without actually, she is doing most of the job in the house. I mean, except the part that her mother doesn't allow her to do.
So she doesn't get hurt.
So she doesn't get hurt, and we always had this argument: let her get hurt because it will teach her not to get hurt again. But children can be very productive at home if they can't find a job, or if you had difficulties, or they are on vacation during the holidays.
Yes.
Make them work at home. Let them do something at home. I think you will find that they are very keen at finishing the job.
Yes.
And they will be very helpful, and they will feel good about themselves. Definitely. And you will feel good that your child is participating in your house chores.
Definitely. I mean, from my experience, always being target oriented is the best thing, because once they reach their target, they feel accomplished, and that is a whole different feeling of having completed something correctly. Exactly. And to a certain standard. Well, how about for those who want to become members of the society or who want to donate to support its programs? What are the required procedures and conditions in that case?
Actually, we welcome everybody.
Okay.
Everybody is welcome.
Everybody.
That is a message for you there.
Yes.
Our website, which is childbehavior.org.
We will provide
that one, there is everything there. How to be a member, how to donate your time, how to be a volunteer. Mm-hmm. We have very good volunteering program. Mm-hmm. Whether it is drawing, whether it is whenever we have an event, we have volunteers who come to help us in organizing the event. So actually, we encourage people to participate in our society and others NGOs, because try to find an NGO in your area and go to them and tell them, how can I help? I think this is very important. This is the message that you can do to your society.
Definitely.
Sometimes people say, what can I do? I cannot do anything. No, there is so many things you can do. Whether it's cleaning beaches or whether it is doing anything like that. So I think it's important for the public to go there and volunteer their work. Besides, it's what our religion teaches us to do.
Yes.
It is also your obligation to your society, and it is part of what you can pay back to the society for what it's been giving you.
You don't have to have an education, you don't have to have something specific, you have to have time and a will to help.
Exactly,
basically.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So after these years of dedicated efforts, how does the society assess its successes?
We have an ongoing data collection system that we try to utilize it to assess our situation. We are not in business. There is KPIs, and there is all these methods of measuring your success. I think in our business it's a little bit different KPIs. And if you look at it in numbers, having 500 people on the waiting list, that's another KPI that people say that they trust you and they want to come in. And because we are using method 1-to-1 or 3-to-1, we don't have enough room for other people to be part of the center. So, and that's why we are building this new center, hopefully to have to accommodate for people who are above 18 as well. Because from 3 years old to 18 years old, there are so many centers that you can take your child to. But after 18, and if you were not successful to manage a job for them or anything like that, families are having having a problem with their children. And so we have a program now. Hopefully, it will be initiated soon if we get enough support and donation from the public, inshallah, to target people from 18 years old to 60 years old.
Beautiful.
With different gardening techniques, working skills to make them more productive into the society, inshallah.
I know that Bahrain's vocational institutes do provide education to everybody, people on the spectrum as well, and they have specific training as well, which is the governmental vocational centers, and that actually gives a lot of hope, because in the future, as we've said, they're very target oriented, so learning a certain skill, they will perfect it in no time and be a contributing member of the society, and you would follow up then with them.
Of course, yeah, that is one of the government entities that we should appreciate the job they are doing, because everybody have to help in.
Yeah.
If you do a small part and another entity does another small part, it becomes a big part.
Right.
So I think that's what the message we want to encourage. And please, even if it's a small part, don't hesitate to do it. Do it.
Definitely.
Because stone by stone, you can build a big wall.
Definitely. Well, before we end today's show, I'd really like to know about the future plans and the upcoming projects prepared by the Society. You mentioned that you're making a new building site, if I'm correct.
This is a dream come true.
Yes.
And hopefully it is, at least as far as looking at it, it is coming through. It is now 4 stories high, and it is almost ready for operation. We are looking for donations for the operational cost.
Yes.
But the idea is to have all your people in one area, and we have divided the floors into different levels, different ages, different programs.
Okay.
And some of them, this new building, and we call it Alia Comprehensive Center.
Okay.
It is comprehensive for everybody that have autism, and whether it is young or older.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's a dream come true for a lot of families.
Yes.
Because they say that everybody, even in the board members, their children were there since they were children.
Yeah.
Now they are adults.
Yes, and they want to be a part of it.
They don't have anywhere to go. Yeah. So I think it's fantastic that we are to thank again the people who participated in making this dream come true, and we're looking forward to accept students or adults into this program, to this building. It's a lovely building, it's nice, and hopefully it will be able to cater for people who are above 18 as well.
Inshallah. How about the future plans services-wise or events-wise?
What we are doing, it's a continuous effort. We have art exhibitions that we designed it for children, our students who are doing art. Okay. And we are doing clothes sale. Okay. For we bring clothes from our members and people who want to participate, and then donate it to people who are in need. Yeah. We are in continuous effort to continue our programs, and every time we make use of the situation, even though if it is whether we are in the green zone or the yellow area or whatever, inshallah we're always soon will be in the white. Yeah, but we are utilizing the social media for this purpose, and we're trying to promote our message through to the public as much as we can.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for being with us here today and for answering our questions. We will be providing the information, the social media account information of Alia Society on our show when this is aired. And thank you for coming here today.
Actually, we would like to thank the Ministry of Information for giving us this chance, and Bahrain TV. I think it shows what the government can do to support causes for the special needs. And this program is a great example for that.
Thank you very much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We'd like to thank you as well, dear viewers, for watching us, and we'll see you next week in another episode of Inside Edition.